All right, this video is going to be about how to address circles as a conic section. Again, it's the second one in a series. We've already talked about parabolas, but circles are if you take a cone and slice it, as you can see in the picture here, perfectly parallel to the base. Any cone sliced parallel to the base is going to just give you these sort of concentric circles that appear. Now, geometrically, again, as a locus definition, excuse me, as a locus definition, a circle is essentially all points equidistant from one point or that focus. Again, a parabola had both a focus and a directrix. A circle basically just has a focus and a radius. So measured from the origin, if we keep that focus at the origin, your radius will extend out, and as long as r stays consistent, you'll have a circle formed by all of the points that are r units away from the origin, and all those points would be called xy. Now, if we use our distance formula and think about the point 0, 0 and the point xy, we can essentially set up, x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared square rooted is equal to r. Or if you just think about this as a triangle, right, you could extend a line straight down from xy and essentially form a right triangle from the origin, right, out here, right, where the side lengths are x left and right and y up and down. So you've got x squared plus y squared equals r squared. And that's essentially what the equation of a circle is going to look like. X squared plus y squared equals r squared. So it's a fairly basic formula for a fairly basic figure. Now, again, the two things that we want to be able to do with a conic section are graph and come up with the equation. So if we're going to graph, they're going to give us an equation such as 2x squared plus 2y squared equals 8. Notice that both coefficients are the same, which is sort of a hint at the fact that it's probably going to be a circle. X squared plus y squared also is, again, a major part of this. For parabolas, remember that x squared would have been present, but maybe just y to the first. Or if y squared was present, then it would only be x to the first. You never have both variables squared. For a circle, both are squared. And if we divide everything by 2 in our equation, because we don't want those coefficients, we'd rather have that number on the other side. Because remember, that's x squared plus y squared equals r squared, which means that r squared equals 4, and r, essentially the square root of 4, is equal to 2. Again, we want those equivalent 1x squared plus 1y squared, and we want to be equal to a number on the other side. Well, if r equals 2, very simply, draw a circle of radius 2 centered at the origin. So everything's going to be 2 units away from that origin. Going the opposite direction, they may just give you the r value. So if they handed me an r value of 2, I could just go plug it in very quickly. Don't forget it's squared. It's x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So if they hand you the radius, remember to square it. But they also may hand you just a point on the circle. And in that case, much like defining the equation of the circle, we can set up a distance formula. Because if negative 9, 2 is going to be a point on my circle, such as in our picture here, then negative 9 minus 0 and 2 minus 0, or basically negative 9 squared plus 2 squared, if we're thinking a squared plus b squared, like the Pythagorean theorem, will be our inside of that square root, or our radicand. Then, of course, we want r, not r squared, so we're going to take that and square root the whole thing. 81 plus 4 then, square rooted, is the square root of 85. However, we actually do really want r squared. Remember, if we're going to set up that equation, x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So we just need to take square root of 85 squared, which is just 85. It's actually kind of nice because no matter what kind of messy number you get for the actual radius, that number squared will just be what you had again for that radicand underneath, which will typically be a fairly nice number. So x squared plus y squared equals 85, and you're already done setting up that equation. If you have any questions about circles, make sure you talk to your teacher. Otherwise, good luck and happy graphing.